In the spring of 1978, the Magellan space program launched from Cape Canaveral, Florida.
Aboard were 62 astronauts from the United States, Canada, NATO countries, and guest members from around the world. Their deep space mission was to explore our solar system and beyond, conducting experiments and studies. In the meanwhile, in Kazakhstan, SSR, an equally impressive mission lifted free from Earth.
It was comprised of 62 cosmonauts from the USFR, the Warsaw Pact, China, and guests from around the world.
The world held its breath as both missions pushed to escape the surly bonds of Earth, to kiss the sky.
When both missions landed safely on Mars and planted the flags of the world, the joy around the world was ecstatic. Soviets too enjoyed their deep space adventure, despite the lack of amenities.
Occasionally the ships would dock together for intermission conferences.
After these conferences were over, there was usually a big party, which went on into the night. And these also led to inter-crew romances.
The world held its collective breath as the ships navigated Jupiter's radiation bands to land on Europa.
With the samples collected, both ships were
As the ships leave Jupiter and Europa, they start the 3-year journey to Saturn. Jupiter became a when they would have to stop.
The colonel is chief of an important missile detection facility in Siberia, USSR. He was dedicated, trustworthy, and widely respected, but most importantly, he had a good amount of common sense.
He recently had a dream about a false reading showing 5 U.S. nuclear missiles coming over the Arctic Circle toward the USSR.
It was nerve-wracking because he couldn't be sure either way, whether it was a real threat or not.
He saw himself with a red line telephone in one ear and another phone with a field technician in the other ear.
He realized that he needed to make the right decision, because millions of lives were at risk if his response was wrong.
The alarm must be wrong. That's it, man. The detectors are faulty. That's the answer. A detector in the polar circle had broken, and the chemical trails weren't missiles. They were simple reflections of sunlight.
KGB Lieutenant Slivka had been sent by Moscow to investigate the colonel's untarnished reputation.
But after weeks, Slivka finds nothing bad on the colonel. So he relies on the KGB agent's best friend, Baz. Lies.
He simply writes up a report filled with stories he concocted and has the colonel placed under house arrest.
The colonel was under arrest by the rat Slivka when the false alarm actually occurred. The next night, with Slivka in charge of the center, the false alarm came true.
I always knew I was born for greatness. With these missiles, I avenged this American attack and will be celebrated throughout history for it. Neither he nor the crew knew it was a false alarm, and that the sunlight's rays that had made the false reading.
Billions of miles away, aboard both spaceships, all signals from Earth ceased, as if unplugged by a giant hand.
Something terrible had happened back on Earth.
Several crew members of both ships instantly and instinctively knew something was very wrong. No one was surprised, through their bitter tears and aching hearts, when the captain announced that Earth was no more. And so on September 26, 1983, the Magellan and the Karl Marx turned around to return to Earth to search for survivors.
They would find none.
Years later, retrofitted and with an improved fuel cell for faster speed, the ships traveled to the nearest life-sustaining planet, the blue planet of Jenoco.
The aging ships crash land on Jenoco, an ocean apart from each other.
Hold on, everyone. We're entering the atmosphere.
What begins as a mission to survive developed into an effort to colonize, settle, and grow a civilization. This is the story of the continuation of the human adventure. This is the Book of Jenoco.